Where to start? I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start right now. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'm going to be talking to you all about turbulence. Woo! And it is not turbulent. It's not turbulent in my basement right now. It's nice and calm, just the way I like it, just the way everyone likes it on an airplane. And hey, Dan, I see you in here. Yeah, so this little topic of turbulence kind of came up because one of our viewers last Friday, Larian, kind of mentioned something about turbulence and how there was anyways, I didn't actually look at what he actually said until just before the show, so I researched the totally wrong stuff. But oh, Nefarious Johnson's here too. Hi. It's really weird once you start getting into something that would scare the general public, and you start looking in like news articles and reports of this and reports of that. And boy, does the news really likes to scare people unnecessarily about flying and flight safety. And oh, hey, Wrench, thanks for popping in. Yeah, so when it comes to flight safety, I was looking at this one article. It was from MSNBC, and it was like, oh, there was a study. The study said this. The study said this. The study said this. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go check out the study. No one ever does, but I do. And I'm looking at it. I'm reading the study, and I'm like, how can you have more turbulence here? And it was like because of climate change, and and then they cherry picked like some little number of 55% because it was like the biggest change number in all the data that they had. Ooh, turbulence is up 55% at this specific pressure level at this specific point over the North Atlantic. So who cares? Just don't fly there. So it's kind of weird. The when it comes to getting all this climate data and everything like that, it's like, okay, here's a study. Okay, cool. I'm glad you got paid for it. That's nice. Enjoy your Volvo going to the university. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't get a whole lot out of it. And just from and it's funny in the I'm not going to link to the MSNBC article thing, but it went. I do have in the description below the original study. Take it as you wish. And the MSNBC, like later on, like halfway down the article, one of the co-authors of the study said, like, yeah, there's turbulence and stuff, but pilots always avoid it usually. It's like, so what? Like a big nothing burger, as they say. So anyways, yeah, that where was it from? It was Advanced Earth Space Science something something. Anyways, the link is down there. And yeah, I was looking at like the key points from it. What were they saying? And it was just specifically about clear air turbulence. So what's this clear air turbulence stuff? I will describe that to you a little bit. And okay, now I generally when it comes to clear air turbulence, you can have that around mountain ranges and stuff like that. But according to the study, they're talking more about its proximity to the jet stream. So the jet stream is that like speedy little jet stream. It's kind of shaped like a little oval. There you go. That's the cross section of your jet stream. And then you could have, okay, so it's like the top of the atmosphere here. They call it the tropopause, but we'll just we'll say we got something like that. So up here, that's like stratosphere, I think, something like that. Very thin air. And most of all your weather and everything happens down here underneath this certain level. And then there might be a front. So maybe there's some cold air here going underneath. Whoop. Cold air here going underneath some warm air and just kind of pushing things up. It might be going that way. But usually, or it could be a warm air front that's overriding the cold air here. We'll say, okay, we'll say this is cold. And we'll say this is warm. Okay, this is your cold air down here. Warm air is all this area here. Where you encounter your clear air turbulence. Now, this is like, I don't know, for someone walking down the sidewalk, it doesn't matter at all. So usually your clear air turbulence it can be pretty violent because this is a very strong wind. Because as your cold air is going under here, as your cold air is going this way under there, it's pushing things up. The warm air is it starts this little circle. And then when that happens, it's going like this. And then, whoom, you get a whole bunch of turbulence down here. And then it's going like this. So whoop, you're going to have it up here too. So if you can just keep your airplane out of the red zones there, you're fine. And they try to, stay away from the jet stream. Whoop. Okay, there we go. It'd be better if I was left-handed here. But there you go. That's exactly what clear air turbulence looks like. We'll say clear air turbulence here and here. There we go. So stay away from there. And whenever you pilots do run into this, so the study was talking about this clear air turbulence stuff. That's what it's referring to. And pilots, when they usually, I don't know, the actual turbulence, it's not necessarily always there with the jet stream. So any of the reporting of actual turbulence, it's usually reported by, you can look at the probability of where it would be. And that's kind of what the study did. Is like, it's probable that it could be here. Is it there or not? They don't know. You need a pilot up there bouncing around to go like, oh yeah, we got some clear air turbulence, requesting lower or higher, and then they avoid it. And sometimes the turbulence isn't that bad. It's just a little bump. But I think for the study that was there, it was moderate to severe turbulence, which will move you around a bit. Spill your coffee. And so that was the one key point. The other key point of it was, the study that I'm talking about, it was over the all of their data and everything was for over the United States and the North Atlantic. So last I checked, the world had other places other than just the United States and the North Atlantic. And hey, good fuck, and Rolly Knievel's here. That's pretty cool. What else we got here? I thought someone else snuck in here too. I didn't say hello. Dan, of course, Dan. Welcome, Dan. So, we're going to be, so the first point of clear air turbulence is kind of wishy-washy for that study. And then it was only really taking into account North America and North Atlantic. How's that got to do with airframes and stuff? And then it says that the incidences of severe to or moderate to severe clear air turbulence, it's gone up by 55%. 55. Even I like the superpilotish 5. Well, MSNBC's got the 55. It's even better. And between 1979 and what was the year? 2020. So I don't know how much of a climate study you want to do over just 20 years. Like where I am in Windsor, Ontario, this used to be at the very bottom of mountains of glaciers, and then then climate change happened. And then 60,000 years later, the glaciers are still going back. They left here, they went thousands of miles north, and I guess that climate's still changing like it was forever. Almost. I don't know. Okay, climate stuff. That's one of the things about the superpilotish channel here is that I have my 4 things I don't talk about. I don't talk about politics, religion, skin pigmentation, and genitalia. So I don't talk about that stuff here. But once you get into the climate stuff, because the studies are all kind of, hey, these climate guys wanted me to do a study saying that climate's changing. Okay, thanks for the cash. Here you go. You got it, buddy. And it's so if you're getting into climate change, it's almost right on the edge of religion, because the ecosystem is so complex. How can you even measure it and stuff like that? So it's on the verge of religion. So I almost don't want to talk about climate change on the show either, because it's Oh, it doesn't exist at all. Oh, it does exist, but it's not man-made. Oh, it's a da 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 da. Okay, well, how does that affect me as I'm flying through the sky on a beautiful day? Hey, it's a nice day. I don't care what the climate's doing. Or, oh, if climate change is happening, we're going to have all this snow and rain, and well, then I'll just stay on the ground. Okay, here we go. And okay, bye bye. That's it. I always like to keep a nice clean whiteboard. It's part of being anally retentive. And actually, I think that's a habit from like always keeping a clean whiteboard is it's from a habit of being a flight instructor. If you're teaching ground school and that, and you leave a bunch of stuff on the board, if you do that, then the whole class is just looking at what you put on the board rather than listening to what you're talking about. So it's kind of interesting as a teacher when you wipe off the whiteboard, everyone's like, huh? And they all kind of wake up and they pay attention to you again. So, and it also keeps the what do they call it, ghosting from happening. So, a little leftover what do you call it, leftover ink on the board. Okay, so that was sort of from Al Larian's my misdirected turbulence thing that he was requesting. But I mean, you can talk about turbulence, like I said at the beginning, you can talk about turbulence all day long, and everybody's like, "Whoa, this one flight, I went to California and over the mountains. Oh my gosh, it was brutal." And then the thing is, like, if you're a non-pilot, well, I guess that there's a little advice there too for people that are pilots out there flying. You have to remember as a pilot that you're used to like moderate turbulence where you're bouncing around like that, and every once in a while you might hit your head off the ceiling. If you're a little taller like me, you bang your head every once in a while. Boom, whoa, okay. Well, hope that doesn't happen too much. Maybe we should get on the ground. But the yeah, that so if you're flying with like non-pilots, Wrench, I'm looking at you. It's you keep that in mind that the regular traveling public, their tolerance for turbulence is a lot less, and people are nervous when they're flying and a little bit because they're not in control, and it's kind of foreign, and they grew up in cars, so it's okay to be a passenger in a car. Even though you got a semi coming at you that can kill you like every half mile, but oh no, the cars are safer than planes, right? But yeah, so keep that in mind if you're going to be flying your passengers around. If they're pilots, hey, let it rip. If you have even one non-pilot person there, they can freak out. And I've seen it too for sightseeing flights and stuff that people go on. Oh yeah, I can't. Oh, I've never been in a little airplane before. This is so great. Oh, I love roller coasters. And there's something to it. Just because you like roller coasters doesn't mean that you can handle an airplane. It's kind of I think a roller coaster is even kind of more of a controlled. People have more of a sense of control. I've seen like roller coaster fans just like freeze up in the airplane and freak out, kind of throw up and stuff, or feel nauseous, anyways. But yeah, it's avoid the turbulence, and the pilots are up there. The pilots don't want to fly through that garbage either. They'll spill their coffees. Ooh, and then wipe, and then the GPS goes on the fritz, and then they got to actually work for a living. So, but oh hey, Harold Cheeseburger's here too. Cool. Hi, Harold. So, yeah, don't worry about it if you're on a plane and there's a few little bumps. Planes are all designed to handle an extreme amount of turbulence, like more than you would ever fly into, basically. Like, okay, think about it this way. How many times have you ever heard of you in your entire life where you fly planes? And you got to remember, there's always like a million airplanes in the sky at any given time. And how often out of those millions of airplanes that are in the sky all the time, 24 hours a day, do the wings rip off? Like, never. So you think about the amount of millions and probably hundreds of millions of flight hours that are on airplanes, and a wing will rip off. It's usually because of something else other than turbulence that'll do that. And Yeah, plane can fly with a bent wing. Not a big deal. And yeah, so there we go. A little bit about turbulence there. I could go on and 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 on about turbulence, but I just made a few little notes here. Um, yeah, once you start talking to pilots about like meteorology and stuff, well, it can go forever. So I'll just cut it there. Don't worry about the turbulence. Is climate change actually changing to make it more turbulent? I don't see any scientific proof about it. I don't even know if you could get scientific proof about it. And you also got another thing that this other study was talking about is like, oh, something went up 55% in aviation. Well, I'll bet you there's like 55% more airplanes flying around up in the air between 1979 and 2020, probably even more. So it's like they didn't say like percentage of aircraft around, and then there's also these things of pilots do if a pilot encounters a something that's noticeable, moderate to severe turbulence. I hit my head off I hit my head off, and it's getting really bumpy by some big storm cloud I'm flying by or something. I'll tell the control tower, hey, what? I'll put in a PIREP and pilot report and say, hey, it's really bumpy up here or something like that. Or especially if you're encountering ice, you always try to tell someone if you're picking up a little bit of ice. That helps out everyone. Done that before too. But anyways, yeah, that's probably about that. And Adam Thomas is talking about the light chop. You always got to have there's a little bit of light chop. That's a cool pilot term. And Adam's a cool pilot, so he can use that terminology. Yeah, light chop is just like super light turbulence, and it's usually kind of in a layer. So you'd be just kind of bouncing around a little bit consistently. There's your light chop. And actually, that really does make you sound like a pilot too. Yeah. Turbulence wasn't too bad, just a little bit of light chop. Cool. And yeah, so that is about it for the turbulence. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about climate change. Gas up your SUV, go on a vacation, enjoy your life, and don't sweat it. There we go. Here we go. Let's bring up. Yeah, I remember that too, Wrench. News about the Ice Age by year 2000. It was all Ice Age. It was but it's changed. So it could get cold back in time in the climate change time machine. Actually, that'd be kind of a cool. I was thinking that'd be like a cool movie, but like I'm just thinking of Hot Tub Time Machine. It's like one of the movies I worked on up north. It was like one of the actresses. She was in Hot Tub Time Machine. It's pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, she was pretty hot. Anyways, yeah, me, I was working security. I wasn't in the movie itself, but I hung around and I talked to the guy that was cleaning out the porta johns, porta potties. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, we got an actual question here. Cool. Have you heard of the free wing? The plane hangs from the center of pressure of the wings, so turbulent air affects less. Haven't really heard of that, to tell you the truth, French. But I mean, it probably would. I mean, that's the thing about aviation. You can come up with all these. There's lots of revolutionary, or I would say revolutionary or non-conventional ways of having an airplane. Like I've seen it before, where you got. Let's see. Here's the front of your airplane. There we go. I've seen it where you got your front of your airplane here, and then the wing goes all the way around like that. So this is kind of a lifting surface. This is all lifting surface under here. And I mean, you could probably have some sort of a rudder action going on the sides over here. And that way, the thinking there is that there's no wingtip vortices. So it's a lot less, what would that be, induced drag, I guess. But yeah, anyways, there's that. And I don't know what the idea of a free wing would be. I'll have to check that out. All right, more. Maybe I'll do a review of the free wing. I'm always looking for things to do. I'll write that down. Free wing. It sounds to me that it would look just by the way you describe it. If you got the wing of your airplane, how would we draw that? Here's the wing of your airplane. Okay. How's that? Does it look something like that where you got your wing here and you got some bungee cords or something there hanging down or some other thing and your fuselage is here? So, well, I would say, yeah, if you're getting into turbulence, you're going to have more, updraft and downdraft here. And if that's some kind of shock absorber system or something, that would make it in the cabin, it would be, a little bit less bumpy. That would make sense. But just taking a look at that, I'm sure if it was economically feasible, they'd probably do it, or in the engineering books, But you never know with new materials and new. There's always new design technology and CAD fun and stuff and carbon fiber and all kinds of neat things popping up. That who knows what the airplanes will look like in the future. So very cool. Oh, this sounds awesome. 3 Oregon Air National Guard just took off out of Portland Airport. Couldn't hear Graham, but way cool. Yeah, I don't judge anybody for listening to super cool loud airplanes outside. Everyone is excused from the super pilotish show to go check out the real thing up in the sky. So here we go. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, I'm scanning very quickly for any questions, and there are no real questions here. Oh, here we go. All right, here's a question that I don't have the answer to. Why does everyone ignore what is that? Milankovitch cycles when discussing climate change. I have no idea what that is. So I have heard about these things called the Vostok ice cores, which they went into was it south in Antarctica. They're always drilling down ice core. Like basically you got kind of like a I don't know, like a drill bit type thing, but it's like a circular saw almost, and it just kind of no, not a circular saw. What would you call it? Like a hole saw, basically. And it would just kind of drill down, and then they can pull up like a cylinder of ice. And over the years, it's been compacted and compacted and compacted. In Antarctica, they do that all the time, and then you can find out, okay, what were the atmospheric conditions there that were putting snow here, packing it down, melting it, and somehow they can figure out carbon dioxide levels from there, but it's kind of like a real massive lagging indicator where it's like, okay, there was more carbon dioxide here, and then it's detected 10,000 years later here, or some weird thing. I don't know. But there's, it's like it's really kind of a religion thing at this point. What do you believe? Who do you believe? Like no one, like I'm not out there drilling ice core samples just to do my own research, or whatever. So, oh yeah, what do we got here? Oh, Harold's talking. Yeah, a little reminder there. Excuse me. 2:20 p.m. There will be a test of emergency broadcasting system. Yeah, I guess over in the States there, you guys are getting all tested out in another couple hours. Oh, well, that's cool. It's like one day they were testing that around they were testing that around here in Canada a little while ago, and I wanted to go to the mall and just listen to them all just go all at once. But I kind of didn't care, so I stayed home. I turned my phone off, whatever. Okay, here we go. All right, would I be able to make a submarine out of the fuselage? You got enough money, you can do whatever you want. So, Okay. What else we got here? Oh, good question there, Adam. I probably should take my bike out for one last ride. I might be able to get a couple more in there. It's a really nice day out today. But it's actually I'm such a fair weather rider now, such a motorcycle snob that it's like, oh, if it's not exactly this temperature, it'll be too hot for me to wear my leather jacket and look cool, so I won't go. Oh, if it's that cold, I won't do it. So I have this like very narrow band of comfort window that I ride my motorcycle in. It's part of getting old and being spoiled, I guess, something like that. But I mean, I've spent many, many times riding my motorcycle to work in the snow and stuff like that. So freezing my ass off. But what else we got here? Oh, Shecky's in here too. What? Huntington Beach just had an air show and close enough to see some flybys. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Air shows are cool. And yeah, there we go. Harold. Actually, Harold doesn't live too far away from here. And nice day, but well, I don't think I'll be out today. But once it gets just a bit cooler, like there'll be a few days of rain around here, and I'll probably take it out again. Right. Oh, here we go. Little Earth's orbit changes each time around the sun, named after Milankovitch. It's an orbital mechanics thing. Okay. So that's what the Milankovitch cycle is. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many variables, in anything environmental. Or just say, for example, some volcano goes off. Boom. Some monster volcano goes off, like Mount St. Helens, like around where you are, Gafuk. It's like that changed that changed how much sun was getting down to the earth. It changed all kinds of stuff. All it takes is one big volcano, and it's like, oh, volcanic climate change. I don't know. Who cares? Climate, who cares? There we go. Well, that's an interesting idea there. Motorcycle jacket is mesh with pieces of tire for pads. There you go. Yeah, I mean, you got to be safe, and everybody's level of safety is a little bit different on motorcycles. I don't really prepare. I'm not going to be riding around on the highway with no helmet, flip flops, and a bathing suit on like some squids do. But I'm a little bit more squid like than others. Maybe it's because I'm old. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, that is about it. Oh, Bob Euchre. Is today National Bob Euchre Day? Well, there we go. Happy National Bob Euchre Day, everybody. And that'll be about it for the show. Lots of nice little comments in there. I appreciate you guys showing up. And yeah, so today is Wednesday. Nice day. I figured I'm going to have a couple pops and fire up the barbecue this afternoon. It's a nice day. And yeah, I'm glad you showed up here too, Adam, because we gotta go flying one of these days. Yeah, that's about it. Wednesday, so I'll be back on Friday. That's right, because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. At noon Eastern, and we'll just kind of shut her down here. So, thank you for watching, everybody. Bye.